I did a wedding once. I was the officiant at a wedding, and I forgot to tell them to sit down at the beginning of the service. Everyone stood up through the whole service.
No one reminded you?
Well, they kind of got a little, some people did say.
That had never happened in a Rotary meeting.
So, I'd like to ask, Kevin Gundry to do We Care. Kevin?
I got it.
All right, so we got a We Care over here. I actually brought a guest that I met at the Pleasanton Chamber Mixer last week, and I'd like to introduce Brian Amador with First Tea.
Thank you for having me. My name is Brian Amador, and I've been with the First Tee Tri-Valley for about 2 years. And we use golf to teach kids life lessons like responsibility and integrity. And we've been serving the Tri-Valley community for about 20 years. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. And having a name like Amador is pretty good in education in this area.
All right. There you go.
Thank you. And shout out to Kevin Gundry and Custom Exteriors. We had doors and windows installed like, what, 14, 15 years ago, and we thought that we weren't gonna get this door lock problem resolved. And Kevin got it done by the company, so thank you. Good job. Didn't think they'd do it, and they even covered it, so no cost. That was awesome. Thanks. All right, I have 3 guests today. Number one, my wife of 39 years.
Yay, Phoebe!
Youngest son, Evan.
Hey,
The number 1 son, Anton.
Anton.
Welcome, Schreiberleys. And let's, okay, yes, got it.
Right. President Jim, fellow Rotarians and guests, I would like to introduce to you a good friend of mine. We actually shared our business office for about 15 years. John Morrow, and John is interested in checking us out and potentially becoming a member of our club.
Welcome, John.
Thanks, Bill. Yes, I've been friends with Bill for a long time, but don't hold it against me. We were golf smart for 15 years, and excited to be here. And thanks for lunch.
And John did participate in our poker celebration. What did we call it? A poker event?
Yeah.
Now I'd like to ask Bill to come forward. What?
I thought you said after inspiration.
Oh, after, that's what I did say, and I wrote a line, a blue line. So, Mr. Van Dorn, welcome home.
Thank you. More material. More material.
Thank you.
Well, actually, you crossed me off. No, that was something else. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. To our Rotarians and our guests, a pleasure to have you here today. My wife and I, we just returned from a 30-day trip through Europe. Got back on Tuesday night, so my brain's still a little fried, so I apologize in advance. One of the things we did on this trip is we went up current on the Danube River. Anybody been on the Danube before? Beautiful place. And the weather was fantastic. We experienced many highlights, none of which were as high as our time with our son Jason, daughter-in-law Lauren, and grandson Montgomery, Jay, in Amsterdam, where they live. We started in Budapest, Hungary, which was outstanding. Anybody been to Budapest? Amazing place, highly recommended. And then, as I said, we traveled upstream. We had brief stops in Bratislava, Slovakia, Vienna, Dürnsen, Melk, Linz in Austria, Regensburg and Nuremberg in Germany, and finished up with stops in Pilsen and Prague in the Czech Republic. And Prague, by the way, is another beautiful place, just a lot of people there, it's like the #1 place to go, so everybody's there. So just beware of that if you tend to go there in the future. Each city was unique and beautiful in its own special way. We were pleasantly surprised that our visit coincided with the 80-year European liberation celebration for World War II on May 10th. Pilsen was extra special since it was the only Czech city liberated by American troops led by the General Patton's Third Army. Pilsen was a critical city for Hitler's Germany back then, not only for its amazing Pilsner beer, but also for the production of weapons and munitions. Many sacrifices were made by the American Army. The same units that fought at Normandy later joined Patton's Third Army, and together with the 11th Army Corps, liberated the west and south regions of Bohemia at that time. History always brings us back to the present, which reminds us of the lessons learned from the past. It was clear to me that our differences are not as far apart as they may seem. We are all fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters, and want the best for our family and our world. This is why I believe so strongly in Rotary's mission to take action on our world's most persistent issues, and most importantly, promote peace in the world. I hope my brief talk today has inspired you to continue your great work in supporting Rotary International and our club in making our community and world a better place for all. Thank you. And before I sit down, I always have to bring gifts for our president. So I've got some real amazing ones here for you, Jim. This is a map of Prague when you get there with Judy. Okay. And here's some little coasters for your beers from Pilsner. Here's a map of Budapest. There, you can use that too, right?
I could use that.
And then when you get to Amsterdam, you can use this Reich Museum map that I brought back for you.
Okay.
Okay, all right, okay, you can add that to the other maps I've given you. Oh, it's awesome, yeah, that was really cool. And then, of course, I've been giving you a lot of gifts, so I felt it was time that I gave Judy a gift.
Okay.
So when we were in Amsterdam, we were at the Van Gogh Museum, and we picked this little scarf up for her. So I'll open it up here. It's quite beautiful. And there you go. Yeah, it's not completely open, but you get the idea.
Just her boss, just let everybody know.
I think you should put it on. So there you go. See, Van Gogh picture. So I hope Judy enjoys that.
She will love that.
And
Tell Lori thank you.
exactly. I will. Thank you, Jim. All right, there you go. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you so much. All right, this time, Phil.
Your President Jim, I asked for 1 minute so we can talk about club assignments, because as you heard last time when I talked about club assignments, they're not club assignments any longer. Now they're club signups, because you're going to volunteer yourself. If you're a Red Badger, I encourage you to sign up for attendance, because that's a great way to learn people's names and to check the boxes so Ricky can move you on to a Blue Badge. I'm going to pass this around. You can
That's
see
Sherry's job now.
there's 7 places that are open between now and the end of September. So not very many openings, but please feel free to sign up wherever you want to sign up. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Ricky.
So for those Red Badgers, Sherry is the new person overseeing your journey from red to blue. Speaking of that, I want to bring up Richard Mankins, because he has earned the prestigious Blue Badge. Blue Badge. I want to say thank you. Richard's been bugging me for a while. How can I get that Blue Badge as soon as I can? And he just hasn't been here a lot lately, but he's been working hard to get there, and I commend him, and give him a round of applause again, please.
Ricky, you wanted to also talk about the event coming up.
I think Mark Tanis is gonna do that.
Okay, Mark.
Yep.
Come and see, I bet that.
All right, so Saturday, May 31st, there's a Rotary District Conference in San Jose at San Jose State University. And there'll be some guest speakers there, and I think every table should have a card, right? So feel free to sign up, and yours truly will be speaking at a breakout session on cybersecurity. And I only learned recently that Rotary International also fights modern slavery, AKA human trafficking, and one of the aspects of that is cybersecurity scam centers. So I'm going to be talking about that too. It's a nice little intersection between cybersecurity and Rotary International. So hope you can join us there. Thank you.
We have a handful
Thank you,
of
Mark.
Rotarians from our club going to that, so please consider signing up. It's a week from this Saturday, and we would love to have more of a group, because we know a big group from PNR is going. Oh, devotion. Yes, we have a devotion dinner. What's the date, please?
17.
So June 17th, we, as our esteemed president Jim calls it, he calls it the demolition dinner. And I think that's pretty appropriate too. So we are working on a good skit that I think is going to be humorous and everyone will enjoy. It's going to be at Sidetrack, and the tickets are $30 per person, $45 if you want 2 drink tickets. And we have to get a head count per Kathy, and so please let either her know or respond to the emails about it so that we can give a good head count to Todd at Sidetrack for that event. It's always a hoot. Please sign up if you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. And in that same week, so it's a busy week, on the 19th, we will celebrate our 20th anniversary as a club. 60th, what did I say? Write that down, Ricky.
It's being recorded, Jim. It's all being recorded.
60th anniversary as a club at Rotary Park at 5 o'clock. We ask you to attend. Please bring a appetizer to share. There will be beer and wine and sodas and water.
Yeah.
Yes. And so and we will also dedicate the Rotary mural in the park, and that's being set up through the city. So we'll have a ceremony for that, and then we'll have some speeches by some of our Rotary members that have been in the club a long time. Bill, I haven't talked to you yet, but think about it, okay? Dr. Burke.
Bill Burke. I'd be pleased to.
Oh, thank you. Because Mr. Annis is going to speak. Mr. Annis is going to speak. And I've asked Brad Hurst to also speak. So it'll be a fun time also after the demolition derby. And so at this time, we have a video from International. It's also a song.
Yes, so feel free to sing along.
Of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? In the beginning of creation, there was no you, but today
That was nice, Ricky. And next Thursday is a fifth Thursday, if I'm counting correctly. And we are going to have our fifth, Thursday at my house. I'll send the information out, the address and so forth. And we'll start at 5. If you could bring another hors d'oeuvre, or an appetizer, that'd be fun. The pool will be heated and, we'll just hang out in the backyard. So next Thursday. I'll talk to Judy later.
Let us know how that goes.
I'll let you know. Maybe there is a scarf. There is a scarf. No, she actually said yes, but I gave her the wrong date, so.
It's a real shocker, Jim.
Before I ask Heidi to come up, I want to read a note from the museum on Main that Tony sent. It says, "Dear Rotary Club, thank you so much for your continued support. In times like these, it's truly amazing to have a partner we can count on. We recently hired an education director, and thanks to that added capacity, we've been able to expand our Momo's, how do you say it? Mom's reading time to nearly every week. This change has brought new energy to the museum. Wednesdays are now filled with preschoolers in the morning and adults with special needs in the afternoon. We couldn't have done this without your generous support, and with gratitude, Tony Cruz." And Heidi, could you introduce Tony Cruz to us? Oh, and also he had everyone on the staff of the club sign this. The staff of the museum.
All right, I'm very excited to introduce Tony Cruz, our Executive Director of the Museum on Main. He leads the museum's efforts to preserve and share the rich history of not only Pleasanton, but the whole Tri-Valley area. With a background in nonprofit leadership, fundraising, and community engagement, Tony is passionate about making local history accessible and relevant for all. He lives in the Tri-Valley with his wife and 2 daughters and is committed to building strong connections across the community. So with that, Tony Cruz.
Thank you guys for having me. It's great to be part of the world's greatest Rotary Club right now. Lots of friendly faces, many supporters in the building. Heck, we have our cybersecurity and hopefully future web designer, board members, and lots of people who've been supporting for a long time. So thank you guys so much. You guys always sponsor us a grant for our Mom's Reading Time. And for those who don't know, our Mom's Reading Time is we have community partners come in and they do a quick presentation to preschoolers and their families. East Bay Regional Parks is one of them. Firefighters have come in. And we do a presentation and then they go and do an art project with our educators.
Hey, Tony?
Yep. Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Oh, there it is. Cool. Let's do the next slide. All right, so this is Mom's Reading Time, and Mom's Reading Time is growing, and this is super exciting. Mom's Reading Time originally started out as just to preschool kids. And then we found that there was a need for adults with special needs to have a third place. A third place is somewhere you go in between work and home. So we needed a third place to support these adults with special needs. And so now every single week, our education director comes up with a project, teaching something about Pleasanton history or a STEAM project. So they're learning about math, building bridges, all kinds of really fun stuff. And it's every week now. We did a field trip. So this was last week. We had a group come in and we just took them to ice cream this one. They had done all the week before we did an electrical project to how to turn on the light with wires, and this week we did just an ice cream social. So we went to Metal Art Dairy and had a great time. But what's really important about this is we couldn't do that without this room. You guys fund this program, so thank you guys so much for your philanthropy. All right, so then I want to go over some of the programs at the museum just so everybody knows what we're doing. So we do third grade history tours. So every single third grader in Pleasanton Unified School District, and then some homeschool groups, and I just found out there's web homeschool now. So we had a group of kids who had never met each other, because they all do online classes together, come in, it was the first time they met each other in the museum. But so what we do for this is, we first go, a team of 4 of us will go into the schools and do a lesson on Pleasanton history. And it is a blast. The kids enjoy it. We teach them everything from going from Native American to a modern Pleasanton. And the kids eat it up, and it's just a really fun space to be in. The school district has provided us where we get to do a 2-hour class for every single third grader class. So really, really grateful for Pleasanton Unified School District. And then the other part of this that's really fun is we do a walking tour. So for the last 3 months, every Wednesday, or no, every day, we've had a group of third graders, 28 third graders at a time, come in, and we circle them through a rotation of doing an art project, looking at Pleasanton's past through matching it, and then going through the exhibit and learning a whole Pleasanton history. And then we take them on a walking tour. And so we start over at the Cone Building, explain the history there, walk them through the mural with our founding fathers and founding mothers. And then we end up at the Cottinger Barn and break everybody's heart by saying that there aren't tunnels under Pleasanton, so. Well, so those are our third grade tours, and going on this makes me proud to be an executive director for the museum. This is one of the third grade walking tours are special. All right, so a couple before we get into more programs, budget cuts, sack fix. I know you guys are all, well, let's start with this. Can we give a round of applause to Heidi? First off, like, the museum is so honored and happy to have a partner like the city of Pleasanton. The city of Pleasanton has given us a grant for long before I got here, and they support us in every way they can. But there's some budget cuts coming up, and so we are doing our best to mitigate the damage that those will do, and negotiating with the city and all those things. And I just, again, Heidi's been wonderful throughout the process, and we just really greatly appreciate the support Pleasanton has given us. So next slide is going to be more on how we're mitigating. So another one of our programs is the Ed Kenny Speaker Series. This is a Chautauqua program. Does anybody know what Chautauqua is? Chautauqua is great. Yes, we do. You want to explain it, or do you want me to?
You go right.
All right. I was expecting 0 hands. It's a great program. All right, so we have a historian come in dressed as, in character as a historical figure. They come and give a presentation, and then they answer questions as that historical figure, and then they answer questions as themselves as a historian. This is our flagship program. It's named after our former mayor. The best thing about this program is it draws in a lot of people. So we're selling about 400 tickets a month now to this, and that is up from the years past. We're finally getting back to pre-COVID numbers, which is just wonderful. Lucille Ball's on here because she's coming up in 2 shows. So that is our flagship program, and this year it's the first time that program has actually, from ticket sales, actually covered itself. So we're finally breaking even on this program, but with the budget cuts coming up, we had to unroll a new program, and that's the executive producers. And so we sent out to our members and and to the show, the people at the shows, that for $1,000, they can become an executive producer. And that means that they get their name listed on a special bulletin board or a special poster, newsletter, Instagram, and at the museum. And there's people in this room who are executive producers. I'm not going to announce them yet, but I just want to say thank you so much for everybody. The executive producers has been going on for almost a month now, and we've raised about $24,000. We got to have a round of applause. It's special that Pleasanton and Pleasanton residents in the city of Pleasanton, in light of the budget cuts, see the museum as something essential to what we're doing as a city. How it builds a community and how it builds our community's character. And so just really, really excited about people stepping up and and supporting the museum. If you, that campaign's gonna go on till Wednesday. I'm hoping we'll raise $30,000. If you have any questions or want to participate, more than happy. I didn't bring any flyers, but my emails, can go around, so. All right, next slide. All right. So, our exhibits, how many of you guys have been to one of our exhibits? Awesome, so you guys know that our exhibits have been great, we rent things from Exhibit Envoy, which comes and produces a quality exhibit. Where we're going in the future and what we'd like to do more is have more in-house shows. And so shows that support, I'm realizing the paddle, I should probably explain that first because that's a ridiculous slide right there. But we'll get there. Our goal is to create exhibits that bring in people throughout the community. Not just in ways like, right now we have earthquakes and epidemics, which is great. It has a lot of personal stories about earthquakes and epidemics that's gone on, like particularly the 1989 earthquake. But the goal for our exhibits is to bring in people from the communities that wouldn't necessarily feel included all the time. And so one of the ones that we're doing is a cricket event. And so our goal was to bring in more diversity. And at first we did a traveling show again about the Vietnam War from the perspective of refugees from Vietnam. And that went great. We brought people in, but it was a little heavy. You know, it didn't give us a chance to celebrate with each other our cultures. So what we're doing now is we're gonna have a cricket event. We're gonna have a full-fledged cricket exhibit. And we're gonna partner with people in the community to do a cricket exhibit. And hopefully we'll be able to celebrate our cultures together in a really, really fun way. And so that's our goal for the exhibits coming up. Yeah, next slide. I think that's about it. I'm realizing that I flew through this and I was gonna do 20 minutes. Does anybody have any questions about what's going on at the museum? Maybe you guys are, oh, there we go.
So the executive producers, program, is that an annual $1,000 or is that you pay once and you get like a plaque with your name on it that's there forever?
So it's gonna be an annual program. And so every year, and the cool thing about this is we started it this year as a response to the upcoming budget cuts. We saw the need for budget cuts, or the need to make up for the budget cuts. And that was the response to it. Next year, we want to start well before the season starts. So sometime in November, December, we'll start collecting the executive producers and then use that program again. But yes, it'll be renewed every single year.
So Tony, can you talk about who your staff is and what their backgrounds are, because it's a pretty impressive group.
Yes, oh my gosh, all right. Guys, I'm gonna out myself a little bit. I'm the executive director, but the heart of the museum is Ken. Ken McLennan, he wrote the book on Pleasanton history and he is just a treasure to the city. Ken has been here as our curator for 15 years. And the thing that I love about Ken is he surprises me, like at least weekly, with some cool projects he's doing for somebody in the community. This week, we got a call from somebody who's doing a report on a missing child from the 70s. And so Ken had the yearbooks all lined out and was grabbing all the information for them to send it to them. My first week, I remember coming in and they lined up the whole 2 tables in there just with newspaper articles. I was like, what's going on? They were researching the claim that the horse track was the first and longest running horse track for a quarter mile. So it's just things like that Ken does for the community. Another one, somebody's house burnt down in the Southern California fires. And so Ken went through yearbooks, newspaper articles, and found everything about this family, made them a package and then sent it down to them. So they had lost their homes. So we tried to remind them of their old home. And so Ken does some amazing work with the community. And we're very lucky to have Ken. And then we have Rachel. And so I think people, if you're really involved with the museum, you probably know Rachel. She's been our education director for a long time. She moved down to, she moved over to our volunteer management and membership management manager. Rachel is wonderful. gosh, what has she been working on recently? She's the one who calls all the members and is the front face of the museum. She's been with us for about 10 years as a volunteer, 2 years as a staff person. And just please don't be afraid. Rachel is not leaving. We're making Rachel's job very comfortable for her so she won't leave, because that was a concern when we first got here. And then we have our new education director, Peter Wallace. Peter is an artist at heart. And so you'll see some new things around the museum, like we just opened up a paint and sip. So once a month, we're gonna do a paint and sip at the museum as a fundraiser. And so Peter will lead an art class. There'll be a painting that he'll guide people through while they have a nice glass of wine, and they can draw the painting and leave with a nice canvas painting that they drew. You guys probably have seen those all over. It's really big in Livermore. But yes, we're opening those up, and then it really was Peter's influence that really expanded our special needs program. And that is just I should have mentioned in my background, I started in nonprofits running special needs ministries. I ran a Young Life Capernaum Club here in Pleasanton at VCC for a long time. So taking the museum job, I wasn't sure if that part of my heart was ever going to be filled. And so having a partner in that who's been encouraging, and the care he puts into those projects is just wonderful. And so really, really excited about the growth. One of the things I reported to the board last night is that we haven't had an exhibit for 3 months now. We closed the museum, the exhibit room to do a collection project. Our collections, we needed to be able to understand exactly what was in our collection. So we had a bunch of volunteers come out, pull out all the collection pieces, catalog them, take pictures. And so now our collections room is 50% organized, which is just, it's an achievement. And so despite that, not having an exhibit, which is one of our bigger draws, our attendance was about what it was last year. And I credit that to Peter for expanding our mom's reading time, expanding our adults with special needs programs, and then just doing a good job. My first year, the third graders would come, do the tour, and then we wouldn't see them again. Now our third graders go do the tours, and they come back with their family and friends. And it is just so cool. And if you're a member of PDA, please don't complain to PDA about the bell going off, because we're ringing that thing millions of times for the third graders and they love it. You guys all heard the siren?
On the side.
Yeah, on the big Pleasanton Arch. If you guys haven't heard that, please stop by the museum and we'll ring that thing. The city has not complained about it yet. That is my big initiative, is to get that thing ring a bunch of times. And so that has been the thing with the third graders, but having them come back to the museum over and over again, having it be, we have this wonderful piece of real estate, right? We have this wonderful building that a lot of people just have walked past and never walked in. And so we're trying really hard to make it an inviting, warm, welcoming place, because that's what Pleasanton is. And so we want to be a part of that. We understand that we have that real estate right downtown, and we want to do right by the community. Cool. And then we also have Heather. I'll mention Heather too. Heather is our our on-call employee. So when anybody goes out, Heather fills in. She is just a lovely human being, and she'll greet you at the door if you come in. Larry.
Could you explain the different levels of membership and what the benefits of the memberships are?
Yes, you're putting me on the spot a little bit with that one, because they're always changing, but we have memberships ranging from $45 to $500, depending on the level of sponsorship. Really, the memberships, if you're a member of the museum, it's to support the museum, it's to support our local community. There are benefits, like you get a significant discount on the Ed Kenny Chautauqua series. And so if you love going to those, it's a great benefit. You also get some free tickets to it. The other thing that we're doing this year, which is going to be really, really fun, is I mentioned that Ken wrote the book on Pleasanton history. We're going to do a briefer Pleasanton history. His book is called A Brief Pleasanton History. So we're going to have a members only seminar with our curator doing a briefer Pleasanton history. And I've sat in on that presentation, and it is lovely. He goes into in-depth about how Pleasanton has become Pleasanton. I highly suggest everybody come and hear the lecture. We did it for Leadership Pleasanton this year. And I was just blown away by the level of detail and that Ken can still keep it fun. He's just good to learn all those things from. So, yeah, so discounted ticket rates, and then we're also, opening new shows and new ways to benefit members.
So your Ed Kinney Chautauqua series is great. How can people find out about, future schedules so they can plan their life?
Yeah. So it changed, I swear, our demographic for the Chautauqua series, it's not a flexible people group. And so for the most part, it's gonna be on Thursdays for the first 8 months of the year, every Thursday, one show at 2 o'clock, one show at 7 o'clock. For more information, it's on our website. It's also on our newsletter. If you're not on our newsletter, I would highly recommend getting on our newsletter. You can do that through our website, or you can email me at tony@museumonmain.org. But for all that information, it would be really helpful, to just get on the newsletter list or check the website.
It's not every Thursday, it's every Thursday once a month.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
Board members love it.
First of all, Tony, thank you for coming here today. I really enjoyed hearing about some of the programs. We probably want to reach out and partner with Ken because we need to substantiate our claim as being the world's greatest Rotary Club. So probably need to go back in history and see where that started. But I'm interested more in like your the deficit that you have. Can you give us an example or just some kind of magnitude? What's the order of magnitude of like how much of a hole you're going to be in, given some of the changes that have happened?
Yeah, it's up in the air. Original budget cuts, when we first went to City Hall, when they first announced the budget cuts, we were up at so the city provides $107,000 to the museum annually. Plus, the city also provides we rent the building for $1 a year. So very, very grateful for what the city is doing and what the city has done. The original budget came out with a 50% cut to that $107,000 in year one and 100% cut year two. From communicating with Heidi and other city officials, it looks like it's gonna be significantly less than that. Don't hold me to this, but it looks like 25% the first year and 35% the next year. Fingers crossed a miracle happens and, we'll find out more in June. But that's that's gonna be from the city. There's also the arts grants, the city arts commission. They are a part of the city that gives out grants, and traditionally they give us a $7,500 grant. And that is, from what I've heard, almost 100% not coming back in the near future.
Yeah, so just quickly, the city council met this Tuesday until Wednesday morning to talk about the budget, and in the reductions, I'm not sure exactly where it's about 109.8, I think, is our contribution to the museum. And it will be reduced at some level. I believe we ended up at 25 and 35 or 10 and 25. I have to review those line items, but the community grants program, which gives out arts grants and youth grants, is fully eliminated in the proposed budget. So we got pretty clear direction from council on Tuesday, actually Wednesday morning, and then the final budget goes to council on June 17th. So a lot of our community partners, you can take a look at the video, it's online, but significant operating deficit. And so some big changes to community programs, including the library and some others.
So in real dollars and cents, it's looking like around $35,000 this fiscal year. Which my stance, I've been an executive director now for about 15 years through various organizations. My philosophy is always, if the community wants it, it'll survive. And so I am very confident the community is so fundamentally behind the museum and the work that we're doing. And so that's why you won't see me panicking about it. And so just know that we're gonna go out and let people know what the need is. And my expectation and hope is that people will stand up and take care of us. And so far, so good. Really excited that even before the budget cuts were official, that a large group of people have stepped up for us, and so. Don't love having budget cuts, but very appreciative for what the city of Pleasanton's done, especially Heidi. Working with Heidi with this has been amazing, so. Any other questions?
How involved is the museum in the outreach or Adobe community work?
So, not as involved as I'd like us to be. We do have a contract with the city where we can staff the Adobe. We haven't done that under my tenure. I've been here for 8 months. But we would like to provide some free tours and some stuff like that. And so once things settle down a little bit with the budget, because I think that's taking everybody's attention right now. Once things settle down with the budget, I think there'll be a stronger partnership between the two. Yeah, we're working with some volunteers to train them on how to do walking tours and stuff, so exciting, but not happening quite yet.
Two questions, Tony. One is, the ghost walks, I'm assuming that that's put on through the museum and, the ghost walks. I'm assuming that's put on through the museum, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about that, how it started, how many people signed up for it. And then I have another question about, and both Charles Huff started that, I think. But he also used to do tours of the downtown and kind of historical tours, took people around and told them about different buildings and, you know, how old they are and what they used to be and all that. Do you still do any of that?
Absolutely. All right, so shout out Charles Huff Free Walking Tours. And Charles Huff was a architect in the city and a big supporter of the museum. And to honor his legacy, in conjunction with K Huff, we offer free walking tours every summer. So those are all posted on our website. So if you're interested in learning more about the city, our walking tours are so much fun. They just make me proud to be the executive director every time I take one. And so those will be hosted by Peter, our education director. There's also the Harrington art walks going on right now. And those have been great too. We changed how we do the registration for them. And so one of the things the museum, I have a lot of experience as an executive director. And so working with other organizations and helping them kind of get the fundamentals built into there. So we changed how we do the registration for the Harrington Art Walks. And we're gonna help them start like their newsletter and kind of help them get more publicity throughout the community. And just really excited to partner with Jan over there. And so, yeah, so the art walks are going on right now. And the Charles Huff walking tours start, I believe, in June. For more information, those are all posted on our website. And those are all free. So just a great way to spend a Saturday morning, free walking tour, grab your coffee and enjoy the history lesson.
Mimosas?
Mimosas, oh, grab a mimosa. All right, so speaking of alcohol, our ghost walks. So we don't serve alcohol on that, but people come ready to party with us. They come mid-party, I guess. Our ghost walks are so much fun. So those will start in October, the first week of October. Registration will open the month before October. I'm bad at months, so whatever that month is. So the month before October, our registrations will open. It's a 2-hour walking tour of historical ghosts only. And so the cool thing about that is there has to be like a newspaper publication to back up the claim, or like the lore has to go past being just a myth. It has to be somewhat tangible to become a ghost stop on our tour. So the mortuary is on the tour. It's now the pizza place, the new brewery, the dentist over. Just a lot of really cool stops. That was actually one of the first programs that I got to be a part of as the executive director, and that made me want to stay forever. It's 2 hours. The hosts are amazing. We have this group of volunteers who come out and just do such a bang up job hosting the tours. It's educational, and then it's reenacted. So we have this group called Creatures of Impulse. They're a improv group. So they come dressed as the ghosts and act out a scene for each of these groups, and it is just a blast. I would say it's mostly geared towards adults. I've had a couple groups of high school, and middle schoolers, and I've personally taken them because I'm like, let's make sure that this thing's a blast. And they've enjoyed it. And so if you haven't done the Ghost Walk, it's a big fundraiser for us. It's, we have to negotiate the price with everything, but it's gonna be around $20 for a 2-hour walking tour, so you can't beat the value. And then it's just really cute fun. So, and yeah, that started with, Rebecca Bruner was one of the founding members, Chuck, remind me Chuck's last name. Chuck Decker, yeah, was one of the founding members on that. It's been going on for 15 years plus. And just, it's become a staple of what the museum does. We get people now from all over the Bay Area. It used to just be Pleasanton locals only. Now it's people from all over the Bay Area. And so it is just a really, really fun event. Highly encouraging.
Want to say thank you for giving some clarity to that picture. When I first saw it, I started to shiver and break into a cold sweat as I was remembering getting beat by that thing when I was bad as a kid, or spanked, whatever. But for doing the cricket, could we do some kind of exhibition where we could see cricket in the parks or whatever around here?
Yeah, so my dream is to host a tournament, to have a tournament and then host the award ceremony at the museum as like the kickoff to the exhibit. That is the dream and the goal. Where we, shoot for the stars, you might hit the moon. And so where we get there, this will be the first exhibit that I have a lot of hands on. And so really excited, really nervous because, I didn't come from museums and now I'm running an exhibit. But I'll have Ken helping me out with it. So yeah, we want to definitely have a good demonstration of actual cricket being played. How that's gonna look, I'm not 1000% sure, but yeah, it'll be good. Very cool, that's what we're about.
My first experience in the museum is when it was the police department. Back in the day, so it was only my first ticket. Though.
My office is where the jail cell used to be. So I like to make the joke that nothing's changed.
I could remember that. So we have a opportunity drawing, Kathy. And Tony, you have to pick our 2 tickets.
Two, just right now?
Yes, close your eyes.
One,
Are you sure?
where is that? Okay, there it is, cool.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, the first one is number 548. Yes, I knew it.
Let's see.
Go, Bill.
Congratulations.
He was shaking his head like I didn't win.
Don't even read the next number. I want to thank all of our guests for attending. Thank Tony for his wonderful presentation and Heidi for bringing Tony here and for everybody else for being here. This meeting is adjourned.